The wind didn't sound like wind anymore. After so many millennia, even the air had lost its voice. She sat on a crumbling stone at the edge of what had once been an ocean. Now it was only a cracked earth stretching to the horizon, marked by the skeletons of ships that have never been retrieved. The sun was a dim coin in the sky, smaller than she remembered, colder. It had been so long since she'd heard footsteps that when they came, they almost felt like a hallucination. Soft, deliberate, steady. No dust stirred. She didn't need to look up to know who it was. Finally, she whispered, voice brittle, "You." The figure stopped a few paces away, cloaked, silent, watching. The immortal's head tilted slightly, and for the first time in centuries, her eyes focused on something. They were pale now, like glass worn smooth by waves. "You gave it to me," she said, almost conversationally. "That gift, immortality." A faint smile twitched at the corner of her lips, but it was not a kind smile. "Do you remember what I said when you offered it? I was young. I thought forever meant more time to live, to love, to learn. I thought I'd see every wonder this world had, to give for a while. I did." Her voice grew quieter. "I've fallen in love more times than I can count. Every face, every voice, they burned themselves into me. I swore to remember them all, and I have. I can tell you the exact shade of green in her eyes when she laughed at my terrible jokes. I can still feel the warmth of her hands in mine the day we promised we'd never leave each other. I can recall the way my daughter's curls bounced in the wind when she ran towards me. I can still smell the roses my wife wore on our wedding day." She swallowed hard. Her jaw trembled. "But that's the curse, isn't it? I remember everything. I remember them all. I remember watching each one fade. Not just die, fade. Faces blur, voices crack and weaken. Skin withers, eyes grow dim, and then nothing. They're gone. And I'm still here." She turned her gaze upward, meeting the god's shadowed face. "Do you know what it's like to beg for death and have silence answer you? To pray for the chances to see the ones you love again, even for just a moment, and whatever comes next. And know you will never get there? You locked me out of the afterlife, and for what? Your amusement? To see how long it takes before I break?" The wind, if it was wind, moved the god's cloak. Still no answer. "I have walked under the skies of red, black, and gold. I've seen mountains crumble into dust. I've seen seas rise where deserts once burned. I've watched civilizations bloom and rot like flowers in the same breath. I've memorized the sound of planets dying, but none of it matters. None of it fills the hole they left." Her voice broke. The words became a whisper. "I want to see them again. All of them. Even for just a heartbeat. I want to tell them I still love them. That I never stopped. You made me into a thing that can't go where they are. You've made me wrong. I don't belong here anymore." For a long moment, there was only silence between them. Finally, the immortal let out a long, shuddering breath. "If this is mercy, I want no more of it." The god said nothing, turned, and walked away. And the immortal sat there under the dying sun, with the weight of an eternity passing down, knowing there would be no end, only more time. My love, I don't know why I still write you. Maybe it's because speaking your name aloud feels dangerous now, like the world might take offense and swallow the sound before I can finish it. Or maybe it's because writing makes me feel like you're still listening. Do you remember the day I told you I was immortal? That I was going to live forever? You laughed. That light, unguarded laugh that made my chest feel warm. And you asked if that meant I'd love you forever, too. I told you yes. I didn't understand then how much forever could hurt. I've kept my word. I still love you. Love you in the way the tides loves the shore, endlessly, even after the shore has crumbled away. But you've been gone for so long that I no longer remember the exact sound of your voice. I've tried to keep it alive in my mind, but time wears even the sharpest memories down to something smooth and featureless. I remember the last time I held you. Your skin was cool, your breath slow. You smiled for me, even then. Even as your eyes grew distant, I kissed your forehead and told you I'd see you soon. I didn't understand that soon was for you, not for me. That night you crossed into whatever comes next, I stayed here. I am still here. Since then I've loved others. I had to. I thought it might soften the ache, and each time I lost them too. I've buried more people than I can count. I've watched generations turn to dust. I've stood in the ruins of cities that once shook the earth with their power. I've seen the stars themselves burn out. And yet the only thing I want is to die. Not out of despair, though I have drowned in that, but because I want to find you again. I want to take your hand in the place beyond life and tell you everything I've carried. I want to see you smile like you did before the years weighed you down. I want to tell you, without the rush of mortal time, that I've never stopped loving you, not for one heartbeat. But the God who gave me this gift has locked that door forever. I am barred from the afterlife. I am condemned to walk the endless corridors of time alone, knowing you're just on the other side of the wall I can't touch. I hope, wherever you are, you've forgotten me. Because if you remember, then you're waiting for someone who will never arrive. I'll keep writing you till my hands forget how. It's all I can do. Always yours, forever cursed. The one who could not follow. Letter 1, March 3rd. Dearest Emily, you look so beautiful today. You didn't see me, but I saw you. You were laughing with that tall guy outside the coffee shop, the one with the stupid blue jacket. I noticed you left your apartment at 8:12 this morning. You turned your key twice, not 3 times like you usually do. I could have walked right in. You'd be happier without distractions like him. I'll make sure of it. Yours, D. Police Incident Report, March 5th, case number 23-1084. Missing person, Benjamin Carter. Last seen leaving Bean Scene Cafe on March 3rd at approximately 2:45 p.m., wearing a blue jacket, jeans, black sneakers. No known disputes. Friends report he was in a good mood. Letter 2, April 19th. Emily, I took care of your problem in the blue jacket. He won't bother you anymore. I learned so much watching him. The shortcut he takes behind the laundromat, the way he keeps his wallet in his left pocket, the fact he never checks behind him when he hears something. When he hit the ground, the sound was dull, almost soft. You'd be surprised how quiet it is when a person leaves this world. You seem sad today. I hope it's not because you miss him. Always yours, D. News article, April 22nd. Body found in industrial lot. Authorities have identified a body discovered in an abandoned lot on the city's east side as Benjamin Carter, age 27. Police say foul play is suspected. Cause of death has not been released pending autopsy results. Letter 3, June 8th. Sweet Emily, your friend Anna talks too much. She told you to stay away from me. Didn't she? She didn't know I was close enough to hear. I was hiding behind the shelves in the craft store after all. Anna screamed for a long time. I had to put my hand over her mouth, but she bit me. That's okay. I'll keep the scar. It's a reminder of what I did for us. Now there's more room for me in your life. Forever, D. Police Field Notes, June 10th. Case number 23-2042. Missing person Anna Ruiz, age 25. Friend of homicide victim Benjamin Carter, last seen leaving Michael's craft store on June 8th around 5:30 p.m. CCTV footage partially obscured. Letter 4, September 14th. Emily, your brother looked at me wrong today. I waited in my car outside his work. He didn't see me until I grabbed him in the parking garage. I told him how I loved you, how I would do anything for you. I told him I was the only one who could protect you. Do you know he tried to fight me with his keys? Keys are funny things, Emily. You could use them to open doors, or you could use them to make somebody bleed. Family can be so meddlesome, can't they? But don't worry, I'm your family now. With devotion, D. Witness statement, September 15th. Yeah, I saw a guy hanging around the garage, just sitting in his dark sedan for hours. Didn't see his face, though. When they found the body the next day, yeah, I knew it was the same guy. You could just tell. Letter 5, November 1st. Emily, your mother was the hardest. She left her window unlocked, though. Did you know that? It only took one quiet step over the sill. She woke up before I was ready. But she said your name so much at the end. I think she thought I was you. I'll keep her scarf. It smells like your shampoo. No one is left to poison your mind now. Yours until the end, D. News article, November 2nd. Local woman found dead in apartment break-in. Police are investigating the death of 54-year-old Margaret Lane, discovered in her home early Tuesday morning. Investigators confirmed signs of forced entry through a bedroom window. Letter 6, February 14th, 1 year later. Emily, 1 year ago today, you dropped your pen at the bus stop. I picked it up. You said thanks without even looking at me. I kept that pen. I sleep with it under my pillow. I've removed every barrier between us. Friends, families, lovers, all of them gone. I'm outside your apartment. You moved, but it only took me 3 days to find you. That back door lock, you should really fix it. You're sleeping now. I can see your chest rise and fall. I'll wait until you open your eyes. Then you'll see me, and you'll understand. Yours forever, D. I first noticed her at a corner cafe on a Thursday morning. She sat by the window, a streak of sunlight falling across her cheek like it had chosen her. Her hair wasn't just blonde, it was the kind of blonde that looked warm even in winter, each strand catching the light when she tilted her head. I couldn't help but watch the way her fingers curled around her cup, slow, deliberate. She didn't rush anything. Her eyes were green, not the hazy, forgettable green you see in half the world, but the bright, sharp kind that made you feel like you were standing in a clearing in early spring. They darted from the street to her friends across the table, always searching, always open. Her sweater was a deep navy, sleeves falling just past her wrists, modest, understated, the kind of choice you make when you don't have to beg for attention. She wasn't trying to be noticed, which made it impossible not to notice her. She laughed once. I didn't hear the joke, but I didn't need to. The sound was warm, round, full. It carried across the room, not loud, but distinct, like a bell. When she passed by my table to get more sugar, I caught the faintest trace of lavender, maybe her shampoo. It lingered a little bit longer than expected, not overpowering, just enough to stay with you. Her friend left first, and she stayed behind, scrolling on her phone. She looked so at ease with herself. I imagined her voice, what it would sound like saying my name. Not fast, not clipped, but slow enough to savor. Eventually she stood and walked out into the street. I happened to be heading the same way. She moved at a pace that was easy to match from a distance. Not too quick, not too slow. She passed the bookstore, the bus stop, a little alley with a flickering street lamp. I memorized the way her hair shifted when the wind picked up. Her building was an old brick, her door green and chipped at the bottom. She fumbled for the right key. I filed that little hesitation away in my mind. She disappeared inside, and the light in her window came on a few minutes later. It's good to know where she lives. They're always easier to find the second time. The house breathed in silence. Mark sat in the dim halo of a single lamp, the soft hum of the heater below him, and the steady rhythm of two sleeping hearts above him. His wife, his daughter. The night was peaceful, the kind of peaceful you want to bottle and keep forever. Then the air shifted. Not colder, heavier. The shadows began to deepen, as if the dark itself had decided to gather in the corner. A shape emerged. Tall, draped in black, a face hidden in the abyss of a hood. A glint of a pale bone where a cheek might have been. And in one skeletal hand, the arc of a blade that seemed to drink the light. When the voice came, it was not heard, it was felt. Mark, it's time. Mark rose slowly. His eyes were steady, though his heart pounded like war drums in his chest. He let out a breath, and when he spoke, his voice was low, but carried weight. Time? Do you know how many nights I begged for you when I was a boy? How many mornings I woke with the taste of hopelessness in my mouth and thought if only you'd come for me in my sleep? I grew up in a house that was more battlefield than home. My father's hands knew how to hold a bottle better than a son. My mother's eyes were always somewhere else, anywhere but on me. And the walls, oh, they kept secrets. The kind that claw at you when you're alone. I learned not to cry because crying got you nothing more than reasons to. I learned silence was safer than speaking. I learned the world didn't care if I was here, and soon, neither did I. I would have welcomed you then, and I would have followed you without question. But somewhere along the way, the world shifted. I met her. She was light in a place I didn't know could be lit. She laughed like it hurt her not to, like joy was something reckless and alive. She took a man who was already halfway into the grave and reminded me he had hands for holding, not for letting go. And then she gave me my little girl. Do you know what that does to a man like me? She's the first thing in my life I could truly say is perfect. When she smiles, it's as if the whole damn universe pauses just to watch. I'd burn the world to ash before I let harm touch her. You see, I spent the first half of my life aching for the end, but now I drink every second of it like water in the desert. I want the scraped knees and the bedtime stories, the arguments and the reconciliations, the laughter that makes your ribs ache. I want to see her grow tall. I want to hear her voice change. I want her to find who she is. I want to grow old beside my wife, holding her hand when our bodies start to fail but our love does not. And you. Mark took a step forward. The lamplight caught his eyes, and there was nothing of fear in them. You will not take this from me. Not now. Not when I've clawed my way out of the darkness you once would have found me in. If you want me, you'll have to rip me from the arms of the people I love. And I swear to you, I will fight, I will bite, I will burn through heaven and hell itself before I let you win. So turn around, walk back into whatever shadow you crawled from, because this life is mine now, and I'm not done living it. The Reaper stood silent, motionless, and then, like a tide retreating from the shore, the darkness ebbed, the weight in the air lifted. Mark sat again, his hands trembling, but his eyes fixed on the staircase, listening to the softest sound in the world. His family still breathing.